Today we're going to look at parabolas that open either to the left or to the right. So we are looking at horizontal parabolas. So either they're going to open to the left or they're going to open to the right. Now notice, first thing, these parabolas are not functions. Okay? And so we would call these relations. Okay, so here's the general form for a parabola that opens either left or to the right. So I want you to notice that inside our grouping symbol we have y minus k. And on the outside, over here on the left side, we have x minus h. Now, something you may want to think about doing here is putting a parentheses around here. That's going to help you down the road when you are utilizing the h value to write the vertex. So let's talk about which way does this open first of all. So if the a value is positive, then it's going to be opening to the right. So a is positive. If the a value is negative, we're going to be opening to the left. Okay, second thing, vertex. So once you have your parabola or your equation in this general format here, you can then write your vertex. Now this is where I had talked about putting parentheses around the x minus h, because you're going to want to take the opposite of this. So if it's a minus h, then it's going to be positive h for your x coordinate. If it's a plus h, then it's going to be a negative h for your x coordinate. So your vertex is going to be h, comma, k. All right. The next thing that we're going to find is what's called the focus. Now, in order to find the focus, we have to calculate the c value. So let's take a look at an example here so we can better understand this. So take a look at this equation in general form. Okay, so right off the bat, if we look at the a value, we can tell that this parabola is going to be opening to the right. And why is that? That's because the a value is positive. Second, let's go ahead and calculate the vertex. And our vertex is going to be 2, comma, negative 1. So let's go ahead and plot our vertex, 2, comma, negative 1. Now we know that this parabola is going to be opening to the right. So the first thing we're going to calculate here is the c value. That's going to help us find the focus. The focus. So as you can see, the c value is found down here. There's a little formula here for calculating the c value. So notice that our a value is 1 over 6. And the little formula here for calculating the c value is 1 over 4c. So all we need to do is set 4c equal to 6. Now, to make this a little bit easier on us, let's change the problem. Hopefully you're using pencil. Let's go ahead and change this to 12. Okay, So 4c, so we would do a little equation here. 4c equals, that's our denominator. We want to calculate c, 12. And calculating c, we're going to divide both sides by 4. c equals 3. Now, in order to find the focus, you must calculate c. So c tells us, basically, how far the focus is from the vertex. So it's 3 units. So we would go 1, 2, 3 units inside, 3 units inside the parabola. Okay, so now we have the vertex, we have the focus, and the coordinates of our focus is going to be 5, -1. I'll write that down here. Okay, next we're going to calculate what's called the directrix. And the directrix is going to be, so let's go back here, let's go ahead and label this C. The directrix is going to be C units outside of our parabola. So 1, 2, 3. So if we go 3 units outside of our parabola, we will end up with the directrix. And the directrix is going to be a dashed line vertically for horizontal parabolas. This is our directrix. And I'll explain the meaning of the directrix and the focus in just a minute or two. So, if we want to sketch our parabola, we need at least 2 more points other than the vertex. So to get 2 more points from the focus, if we multiply the C value by 2, we will get another point up and another point down. So in this case, we would multiply 3 times 2. So that means we want to go 6 units up and down from the focus. Okay, so let's do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we can kind of draw a sketch of our parabola because we have 3 points. We get a pretty good general idea of what it's going to look like. And then let's go ahead and visually show the calculation for getting those 2 points. Remember, we multiplied the C value times 2. And we calculated that up from the vertex. And same thing going down. Here is the definition of a parabola. A parabola is the set of all points in a plane that are equidistant from a fixed line called the directrix, and a fixed point not on the line called the focus. Go ahead and pause this video and write this definition down. So then the equation for our directrix in this case is going to be x equals -1. This is our focus. and our directrix. So now let's go ahead and take a look at a visual explanation of this definition using Desmos. So let me go over here to Desmos and we'll take a look at this. So notice it says that a parabola, that's this U shape here, is the set of all points in a plane that are equidistant, so this distance right here and this distance right here. These points, this point right here is equidistant from a fixed line called the directrix. So this distance right here is going to be equal to, and a fixed point not on the line called the focus. So this distance is going to be equal to this distance. No matter where we are on the parabola, these two lines, these two distances are going to be equal. So go ahead and take a look. You can visually see that they are equal as we move along the parabola. Okay, let's quickly look at one more example here. And so we're going to go ahead and start off by noticing that our A value is negative. So this parabola is going to open to the left. Second, we're going to go ahead and get our vertex point. So our vertex point is going to be at -1. And the K value is 0. Next, we're going to calculate our C value so that way we can find our focus. So we're going to, since we're in that format of 1 over 4C, we're going to put 4C equals 4. So our C value is going to be equal to 1. And so let's plot our vertex. The focus is going to be 1 unit. Remember, inside the parabola, since we're opening to the left, we're going to be going to the left for our focus. And so our focus is going to be at -2, 0. Since we have our focus and we have our vertex, we can now go to our directrix, which will be 1 unit using our C value. It's going to be 1 unit to the outside. So it's actually going to be on our y-axis. There's our directrix. And the equation for our directrix is going to be x equals 0. And to get 2 more points, remember we're going to multiply 1 times 2. So from the focus, we're going to go 2 units up and 2 units down. And then we're going to draw in our parabola. All right, hope you're having a good evening. Come with your questions tomorrow, and we'll see you then.